Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. If this is the first time you are watching one of my videos, my name is Alper. I have spent more than 15 years in the paper cup industry working in manufacturing, production management and sales. Along the way, I also learned some very expensive lessons through my own business mistakes. Over the years, I have realized something. The paper cup industry is no longer shaped only inside paper cup factories. A new environment regulation in Europe, a paper mill opening in China, or a change in recycling policy in the United States can find its way into our raw material prices, production costs, and customers' purchasing decisions a few months later. That is why I decided to start this series. Every month, we will take a look at the most important developments in the global paper cup, paperboard, and disposable packaging industries. But this will not to be a traditional news bulletin. I am not a journalist. My name is Alper, and paper cups are what I know. So instead of simply reading headlines, I will try to explain what these developments actually mean for people working in industry. This is the first episode of the series, the Global Paper Cup Industry Update May 2026. Grab your coffee. Let's see what happened around the world during the last month. Our first story comes from the United States. According to figures released in May, approximately 20% of US population now has access to recycling system that can process paper cups. Just a few years ago, that number was closer to 5%. Now, some of you may be thinking, why should I care about a paper cup thrown away in America? Unfortunately, that is the wrong question because whenever paper is involved, sooner or later the entire industry become connected. For years, one of the biggest criticism of paper cups has been the pea coating inside the cup and the difficulty of recycling it. The industry has been trying to answer that criticism, and this development is part of that answer. This matters because the expansion of recycling infrastructure strengthens the position of paper-based packaging worldwide. Today, it is no longer enough to say that your product is environmentally friendly. You also need to prove that it can actually be recycled. Our second story comes from the regulatory side of the industry. Across Europe and several US states, the new rules regarding disposable packaging continue to enter into force. In Maine, for example, restrictions have been introduced on certain chemicals used in food packaging. The most issue here is not the paper cup itself. The important issue is chemistry. Governments are no longer asking only one question: how do we reduce plastic? They are now asking three more technical questions. What coating is used? Can it be separated during recycling? Can it be recovered efficiently? In other words, future competition may not be based only on paperboard weight or cup design. It increasingly be based on coating technology. Our third story comes from Germany and the Interpack exhibition. One of the recurring themes this year was water-based barrier coating. In simple terms, these are technologies designed to replace or reduce traditional pea coating. Now let me be clear. I am not saying that pea will disappear tomorrow morning. It won't. But what we can clearly see is that the industry is searching for answers to a very important question. How can we make paper resistant to liquids while making recycling easier? That question may become one of the most important packaging challenges of the next 5 years, especially for companies supplying European markets. Our first story looks at the broader markets. Several industry reports released during May suggest that the global paper cup market continues to expand. The exact numbers vary depending on the report, but the overall direction is clear. the market is growing. Three major drivers continue to support that growth: fast food, consumption, coffee chains, and on-the-go lifestyles. As people spend more time outside their homes, demand for disposable beverage packaging continues to increase. What caught many attention, however, is something I have mentioned many times before. The center of growth is no longer Europe, it's Asia. Population growth, urbanization, and out of home consumption continue to push paper cup demand higher across the region. These three factors are not small details. They are the real engine behind the future growth of the paper cup market. Our final story focuses on major paper and packaging companies. Throughout May, large international groups continued investing in recycling systems, sustainable packaging solutions, and next generation paper products. Now, some people may say, I only have two paper cup machines. Why should I care about what a giant company in Europe is doing? Actually, you should, because the paperboard you buy by the ton, the price you pay, and the availability of that material are all influenced by decisions made by these global players. When the global pulp market moves, when large packaging group invest, and when paper mills change strategy, eventually the effects reach your warehouse door. That is simply how the industry works. To summarize, May 2026 was not a month of dramatic disruptions for the paper cup industry, but three important trends continue to gain strength: recycling, sustainable coating technologies, and environmental regulations. For me, the most important observation is this: the world no longer sees a paper cup as just a paper cup. It is increasingly viewed as a complete material system. Because of that, future competition may not be about who produces the most cups. It may be about who can produce the most sustainable cup, who can offer the most recyclable solution, and who can adapt fastest to changing regulations. As always, time will tell. Thank you for watching. I wish you good business, healthy growth, and stable raw material prices. See you in the next Paper Cup industry update. Take care.